Okay, it's good. So yeah, you can just look at us during it, but if you get to look at yourself, it's fine. So can you just start by telling us your name, year, and major?
Ella Johnson, CCJS, and I'm 18. Or 21 in New Jersey.
Okay. What about, do you say your year?
Freshman.
Okay. And then can you tell us a little bit about yourself beyond that?
Lived in Maryland for 4 years. I went to Catonsville High School. I played volleyball and tennis with one of my interviewers, in fact. I also work with her at a retirement community, and I've moved a lot growing up.
All right. So how familiar are you with Survivor and how the game works?
I've frequently used Survivor to procrastinate homework. I've watched a few seasons, I think, so I have an idea of how it works, tribal councils and stuff.
All right. So now we're gonna get into more of like more like strategy, I guess. So can you name a time where you had to use someone to get ahead?
Yes, in fact, yesterday, my friends, my friends and I were, tired of slowly killing ourselves with the diner food, so we decided to get some authentic Greek cuisine from Marathon Deli, and I asked all of them their orders beforehand, and I decided to not order fries because I knew that all three of them would order fries and would not finish their fries, and I got French fries without paying for them.
It's very solid. Do you have any others, or is that like?
That is the most recent example.
That's the next one.
Tell me which number. Or I can just read. No. Wait, yeah, okay. Name a time when you had to use strategy in a game or in a team.
Oh, yes, okay. So my family was playing Scrabble once, and my sister and I distracted my mom and her boyfriend and whipped out our selfie cameras and both reached around to take pictures of their letters. We won.
That's really fun. So how do you envision yourself as a player?
I envision myself making alliances and pretending to be sweet.
Are you not actually sweet?
I don't know, ask Maddie.
I'm a bitch.
That's what my mother says,
That's fine.
So
That's my
I only asked half of it.
Okay, well, what are your strengths and weaknesses?
Pretty physically adept. Weaknesses. I got in here, so I can't be completely brain dead. Weaknesses. The neck. Let's see. Definitely, I feel like maybe I could overthink things and accidentally make too many alliances, maybe, and then they're all like, all right, let's kill everybody off. And I'm like, but I'm in alliance with all of you.
What's your like ideal alliance? Like people similar to you, people not, like big, small, like what's your ideal
I would say
world?
a good few core alliances, people who are dissimilar to me, because I already know how I think. So maybe I need some people who think differently with different opinions.
How do you work in groups? Like, what's your role?
The procrastinator. And I usually do most, if not all, or a lot of the group work because somehow I always just get paired with imbeciles. So I tend to do a lot of it, and it always gets done. And I tend to delegate some. Hey.
All right. So how would your friends describe you?
Maddie, describe you. Outgoing, loud, funny. Unique, quirky, impulsive.
Dangerous. What is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. Yesterday I was dyeing my hair in the bathroom and I was scrubbing for 30 seconds that hair dye, and it turns out it was a hickey, not hair dye. That's pretty embarrassing. I've been into the men's bathroom several times. few days ago I walked into the wrong dorm and a girl was with a boy in her bed. Didn't realize it was the wrong room until I smelled the air and looked up. It wasn't my room.
Jesus.
And that's only in the last few weeks.
Your life is terrible.
Yeah, well, I've walked out of a dressing room without a shirt on before.
Wow.
Have you ever walked into a dressing room with a person in it?
Yes, yes.
Forever 21 with those curtain doors.
Well,
You never know which one is yours.
they never give you numbers either, so.
Wow. So what type of people do you not get along with?
I get annoyed easily. Irritated. Let's see. People who can't ever shut the fuck up about like certain things. I don't know, if they're just constantly talking. Like if there's people where I can't sit with them for a few minutes and just not talk, like that's fine with me. People who let's see. There's a lot of people I don't like, but I'm not sure if I can pinpoint their characteristics. I don't like people hovering over me, constantly bothering me. Let me just think of people I don't like and then think about their characteristics.
Perfect.
Tend to not do well with psychopaths, sociopaths, but who does? People who constantly like bug me, I guess. Big
You
character
don't like
flaw.
people who annoy you. Wow.
I feel like that's a general characteristic of most people.
What are you involved with on campus?
This. I did intramural volleyball, as both of you know. Didn't carry the team on my shoulders. I go to class usually. I frequent the diner, and I'm gonna get a job. I pay tuition.
Alright, so you will be able to make time for Survivor, basically? Is what-
Yes.
Okay,
Most of my commitments are fairly casual.
good. A lot of the stuff will take place like at nights and like with accommodating to everyone.
Oh, good.
Then plus on top of that, it's like a lot of meeting like at the diner, for example, and
Yeah,
stuff like
I
that.
do love
There's a
food.
lot of Duncan.
Dunkin' down by Susquehanna.
Yeah. That's what Hannah.
Susquehanna. Susquehanna.
So what do you hope to like get out of this experience?
What's the prize again?
The title and $100.
Yeah, that. No, obviously I know a few people who are in it, like Maddie and Doug, and I've got Liam does it as well.
He did it.
Did it? Okay. Well, if Liam does it again, Liam. And I've got a few friends who said they signed up, but I'd like to make more friends who I don't necessarily live with or have already known or have just known by association. So just, I don't know, more friends, I guess, and yeah, bragging rights. It'll be fun, and I want to join something here.
Okay. So then one like big question we always like to ask is like, why do we need to cast you? Like, what about you makes you like a contestant that we want over anyone else that we're interviewing?
Sometimes I say some interesting, funny things that people may enjoy. I don't know. I feel like I could perform at least fairly well in most tests, and I don't get scared or startled easily, and I'm very competitive. I can be cunning. I can be manipulative in certain situations when not like I'm gonna manipulate your psyche, but like I'm gonna get you to buy a bunch of French fries and then let me eat them. I think that could be interesting to watch and to do, and I might. Plus, I'm a freshman, so if I do it now, I can continue giving to this opportunity for the next 3 years, or 4 if I fail.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't think.
I think I still have a few more. So do you see? Do you see yourself playing as a hero or a villain?
Well, maybe my opponents will see me as a villain. Maybe I'll present myself as a hero, but low key be a villain.
Okay.
But we'll see how it develops. That's why you should cast me, because nobody knows.
Do you think out of us two, if you had to characterize one of us as a hero and one of us as a villain, who would you say was which?
I think we were talking about this at work once or somewhere. The two of us were, and maybe it was Dawn. I don't know. Somebody was saying that Maddie here would be very, very sweet and then vindictive. Low key. I don't know. Maddie does. Maddie is very sweet, and nobody would think her to be a badass on the inside. So I think Maddie might have some villainous qualities, and I don't know about your playing style. I mean, I've
You are nothing.
I've played volleyball with you, and you're fairly competitive. You're a good team builder, but clearly, if you've played this 3 times, you know what you're doing. So you're on the crew, so
Definitely the villain.
I could see you both
Yeah.
being villains, but her presenting more as a hero.
I didn't make it long enough.
She was the hero. I was the villain. That was the.
Let your bitch side out. Remember National
I
Biatch
She
Day?
did. She did.
It was out. I
National
couldn't do
National
anything.
Biatch Day, Maddie. Bringing it back
She
from high
did.
school.
She didn't play super honestly though, but she was. At heart, she is fine.
I had hard times.
I'll just infect everyone with the adenovirus and be the villain.
Oh god. Okay. One last thing I'm gonna ask you to do is, can you make up a story of like all lies? Just like tell me a story right now. Be convincing. Just convince us that whatever you're saying is true.
Okay. My mom got married to my dad in 2000. I was born in 2001 during a tornado. Something fell. Something didn't fall.
Okay.
And my little brother was born 3 years later in the winter because it was an emergency C-section. She had the cord wrapped around her neck. And, oops, fuck. And then we had twins a few years later. We moved to Colorado after that, and we learned how to snowboard. And then my dad died in a car accident because a minivan hit him, and he went through the windshield because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And then we moved to Tennessee, where I grew up, and then I moved to University of Maryland, and now I'm a sophomore majoring in business.
Sounds good.
That was a solid end. I liked when your dad went through the window.
His mother, in fact, his mother did that very thing.
Did she die?
Yeah.
Oh. It's my cat's name. No, it's not.
Calvin or Hobbs?
Hobbs. Ooh. Oh, I was like,